Where am I?
Alright, I've been thinking. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back!
M&M's game. No, I always liked buying these candies as a kid. Nowadays, I don't really buy them as much. I guess you could say that the main appeal of these chocolate shell coated candies has got to be these characters. You got the red M&M, the yellow dumb M&M, the female M&M, the other female M&M, the only memorable M&M, the rapper M&M, and there's a purple M&M now.
So, now I can be in the commercial?
Look, what I'm trying to say is that when you have these colorful cast of characters, you realize this means that you haven't been catching up to the M&M's lore. If the world stood still today, some peanut mascot fucking died, maybe this means some pieces of candy have some sort of deep, intricate lore similar to Bionicle. Luckily, as a kid, I have a copy of the M&M's game, because child me likes M&M's so much that I can finally learn this history, the story, the lore, and the world building of the M&M's. Yeah, whoever made that intro song definitely deserves to go to hell. But we do get this sweet treat of a relaxing jazz tune. So starting off the game, we got some decent CG animation of red and yellow on vacation, but as soon as you learn the M&M's minis are in charge, or as I like to call them, the only default M&M's that I haven't tried, has made a ruckus to the factory.
Has your chocolate melted? Have you gone completely nuts?
Well, the minis aren't that bad.
That's where the holiday cuts short, and the game begins with a driving segment. And already there's some insane shit going on the streets. Ambulance driving carelessly, sports cars trying to murder you, biker gangs that just try to turn this game into an M-rated game. Like, who's riding these bikes? Some kind of human thing? A dog? Like, what is it?
What is that? God, what is it?
They have this row on the hillside where a bunch of cows just straight up murder people. And guess how it gets to the M&M's factory? By doing some insane jump just to go to work? This is how wage workers work every day? Do Chinese sweatshop workers have to make an Evel Knievel jump for this? And guess how many stores and shops you find in the city? M&M's Cafe? That's it? Is this some kind of dystopian future the M&M's characters are living in? Are they the rulers of this world? It's not we're in this factory. This is where the real gameplay truly begins. The levels usually have 3 stages, 2 of them being platformers, and then a boss fight at the end. Except for the first level. Now if you think you can choose and select a character since there's only 2 M&Ms here, well you can't, since most of the time, you're just stuck playing as the yellow peanut M&M for the rest of the game. Poor J.K Simmons, he has seen better days. But maybe this is for better since he is a bit of an asshole. And he's supposed to be my favorite color. What? Can't tell? So once you start controlling Yellow, there's only like 2 buttons you can do with him. Jump, spin attack, and that's pretty much it. He's not there to punch or kick, but good god, where even learned this tornado spin attack move? Little did I know, this game is just a Crash Bandicoot Rip-Off. Except instead of collecting Wampa fruits, you have to collect these minis by breaking open these boxes. The tastier the flavor, the more you get them. There's milk chocolate, peanut, and crispy, which has the most minis inside. Now you see why it's the best flavor. And I almost forgot to mention there's peanut butter flavor since I noticed some of the colors are slightly brighter. If there's one flavor that I really want to know is this light brown one. Like what the hell is this flavor? It's not chocolate, not peanut, definitely not crispy. Is it the wafer flavor? Might as well be the wood flavor. Now sometimes instead of giving you M&M's minis, some boxes give you power-ups. There's some speed boots, which lets you run fast, a spring to let you jump higher, and a safety helmet, which makes the wearer invincible. But the real question here is, why does the M&M's factory have a ticking time bomb explosive, and a green box that murders you in one hit just by touching it? Well, because it's a Crash Bandicoot Rip-Off, that's why. That's not a good excuse! What kind of chocolate factory has some kind of one-shot, one-kill explosive murder weapon? Just what is this flavor? The Indiana Jones peppermint that spoils the ending of the movie before it was even out? What are they making in this factory? Hi kids, welcome to M&M's world. Do you like your chocolates timed or proximity? Because I sure love seeing kids eating those explosive diarrhea-driven candies.
How about some soy food?
Actually, when is this game even made? Oh. You've got to be kidding me. just 1 year before his debut as J. Jonah Jameson. Now if there's one thing this game never explains here, are these robots around the levels. Like, who are these guys supposed to be? Why are they just walking around the factory for no reason other than to get murdered? They aren't factory workers, they don't seem to be doing their jobs properly. And you definitely don't see myself being like them one day. Are they security guards? They don't seem like to be strapped with guns or anything. Just who the hell are these guys? What's their importance to the M&M's lore? And what's with this boss? It's some kind of spaceship drone? Why does it make Daffy Duck noises whenever it takes damage?
Oh no! It's Big Boss Cam!
But that's not even an MGS song. Fine, whatever.
Oh no! It's Big Boss Cam!
So now they complete level 2 of the game. This is where I get to... Oh, shoot.
Oh, shoot.
I always ask myself if I actually did make this far as a kid, or if I just didn't know how to save game, since I didn't bother reading the buttons. But level 3 is the level where I almost completely gave up. Why the fuck does this level have any intention to be this hard? Every time when I try to do the simplest things, I either die from the mystery green box of death, or I just die just for standing on a safe-to-touch platform.
Oops. Uh-oh.
How and why was I able to die from this when I could just safely land on it? And nothing bad would happen. But no! This thing is a murder floor! It just kills you as an excuse for it to get a game over screen. I don't see how this is breaking health violations. It's just touching the floor. What's so bad about it? But then I found out the problem with this level is that the game has physics. It's not even the good kind of physics. It's the worst kind. Every time you jump off a conveyor belt, you'll start to move where the conveyor belt is moving. If you try moving around, let's say, backwards, there's an invisible force pushing you, forcing you to hit the ground or that annoying green box.
Uh-oh. Oops. Uh-oh. Oops. Uh-oh. Oops. Uh-oh. Oops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oops. Uh-oh. Oops. Uh-oh. Oops. Uh-oh. Oops. Uh-oh.
Carolyn, please bring me more pain pills.
And by the way, something I realized for the first time in this level is that I just noticed that Yellow's attack animation is incomplete. Or at least it's having this weird delay kill or something. Because every time his spin attack ends, he would usually just slide across while I'm moving the control stick and just murders his enemies with a blank, stone cold killer face. Sheesh, this candy is a monster. It's honestly pretty scary when you think about it. So the boss fight in this level, if you can even call one, is a chase from this giant robot, and what you gotta do is to perfectly time touching these suicide bomb flavored candy boxes to blow up the giant robot. Again, they never seem to bring up these evil robots in the cutscene, so it feels pointless.
Urgent memo from upstairs.
Now, I'm gonna be honest, I actually thought that some of the levels are gonna look boring, since all of them except for level 1 is gonna take place in some boring blue factory over and over again. But I take that back once you get to stage 4, which is... okay, it's still blue, but there's paint now, guys. There's paint, and it's okay. I thought this level was gonna be simpler than the last level, but if you dare try touching the paint from the pipes, Yellow will simply die from having the wrong skin.
I am wrong skin!
The worst obstacle has got to be this bucket of paint where you have to make sure that the spilling animation ends before it can actually move on. It has to end, otherwise you get another...
Oops. Uh-oh.
What's up with the boss in this level? Some kind of whistle helicopter airplane drone? What is this thing? It's like something out of a Kinder Surprise toy.
Chock-a-doobie!
It's a chocolate surprise egg. What is it? A chocolate surprise egg. Uh-oh, those are illegal.
So beat the boss of level 4, meet up with another M&M's character. Well, I almost feel lonely for there for a second. Which is the green M&M herself, named
Gentlemen.
Green.
So, you here to learn a thing or two about disaster management?
Now you have to remember that the plot of M&M's Shell Shock is that you have to reclaim the minis to prevent them from ruining the factory, but for reasons unknown, this next level revolves around being in a race to the finish line while your factory is overrun by these robots.
Actually, I do better in the freestyle. See,
It all goes back to when I was just a little peanut. I had this coach who was always...
Meter's running, big fella.
Hello? I'm here to save the factory, not enter a physical education class? Has anyone forgotten about the mission? This feels like some side quest.
Oops. Uh-oh.
The final boss here is a flying robot. And again, the characters mention nothing about the evil robots and just move on as if nothing ever happened. This is also where we learn that Yellow, despite his big fat size, is canonically faster than Red in the M&Ms lore.
For a big guy, I'm surprisingly light on my feet.
I'm impressed. I think I'll be giving you a very favorable.
Sure, go ahead and write your report.
Off to level 6, and honestly, there's nothing much for me to talk about here, since this place is just more of the same thing, with the same old generic platforming with unfair hazard box placements. So instead of talking about level 6, and its stupid Simon Says boss fight,
Oops. Uh-oh.
I think it's better for me to talk about the bonus levels. Now each level has a secret Krabby Patty formula. Well, not really. It's just an M&M's wrapper, and if you manage to find all 3 of them and reach the end of the level, you enter a bonus round in which, surprise surprise, do more platforming stuff and optionally collect M&M's boxes. But at least the more minis you get, the more extra lives you obtain. I only found 3 types so far, and most of them are either too long or too frustrating. We got a level where you have to carefully jump over the train cargo, or it'll kill you just by touching the wrong spot.
Oops. Uh-oh.
A terrible spaceship level, which I consider to be the worst of the bonus levels, which not even the song could save it, has ultimately been ruined by its terrible camera perspective. Even the collision boxes suck ass. So long, good extra lives. All that hard work collecting minis for nothing. Nothing! And what's up with these chickens flying in space? Does M&M's take place in the same universe as Chicken Invaders? And finally, the last bonus level I found, where we get chased by these 2 robots in the first half, and for no reason whatsoever, a giant military-grade scorpion robot trying to eat you? I'm sorry, but I thought this was supposed to be an M&M's factory, not a weapons manufacturing company.
Metal Gear.
At least Willy Wonka had ethics. It's all the kids' fault they had to break the rules by being selfish pricks. But the M&M's factory? Nope, screw it. Gyrod Scorpion Megazord comes to skin you alive. Like just what is there, giant robot scorpion? Now, of course, we could just go to previous levels so we can farm more minis to collect extra lives. But guess what? If you think you can return to previous levels to farm more M&M's minis,
you are dead wrong.
because if you consider trying to exploit the game's systems, your lives will go back to having 3, and you have to start claiming those extra lives all over again. This game punishes you just for wanting to go back and collect more lives. Because fuck prep time, am I right? So effing long, sucker. The next level is just a nerd driving segment, and I'm starting to understand why our boss is called Big Boss. I mean, what's up with these weird military-grade Metal Gear robots living in M&M's factory? And the boss fight is just a boring chase where I have to look out and avoid the bad boxes until the big vehicle blows up and the driver just dies. In the final level, we reach the grand finale of the game, the shocking truth. Surely maybe this game will reveal the reason why there's robots, and maybe the real truth behind the minis invasion.
Wrong, sir. Wrong!
There is no shocking truth behind the robot attacks and the minis invasion. It's only called the shocking truth because this level has electric hazards. So what truth are they talking about here? About how there's no big evil mastermind? How there's no deep meaning in the M&M's lore? Actually, why did I even bother caring about the M&M's lore? What was I thinking? Maybe there could be some big evil behind this. Well, guess what who the final boss is? A flying shark head. That's the final boss of the M&M's video game. A robot shark head that's just flying left and right. This is the final enemy? A giant floating shark head that does nothing? Just what is this thing anyway? Okay, calm down. There's a giant TV screen at the end of the level. Maybe there could be an ending cutscene that might reveal the shocking truth. But no! It's just Red and Yellow getting fired from their jobs, get transferred to Big Boss's outer haven or something. And we still have no idea who Big Boss is.
Ah, the wonders of teamwork. You mess things up, I put the factory back in order, the big boss rewards us with a cruise ship vacation.
Get out of town and don't even think of coming back.
But it doesn't even matter anyway since the minis are controlling the ship. The frickin' end.
What's wrong with you? Do you consider thinking an extreme sport?
Red,
What?
little minis guy wants to borrow your drink umbrella.
Ah, indeed, Red. Ah, indeed. But what'd you expect? As a spokes candy yourself, you should have known that if some game based solely around a commercial product meant for consumption, of course I'm not expecting a masterpiece. I could learn more about their wacky world. So in the end, what was the point of M&M's game when there's nothing for me to learn? Well, what if I told you that the entire point of M&M's game and the real shocking truth behind M&M's game is that it's all just propaganda. Yes, you heard me. Propaganda to work with the M&M's factory as a possible career choice. First, you start going to work. Then, go over to the chocolates, transport them to the chute conveyors, color up their shells, stamp them, pack them into the boxes so the forklift Weiji can stack in the warehouse or put them in a truck.
Then, an education.
And finally, you go to some power room to turn off the factory.
I can't say I'm
This entire game is just one big surprise that the whole thing was just a How It's Made episode only on Discovery Channel. That's the shocking truth of M&M's game. Or maybe the real shocking truth here is that the game isn't actually hard at all. I just had to avoid breaking boxes, good or bad, because of the dangerous risks of touching them. If I focus on one thing, which is just reach the goal, maybe this game would be easier. Not clicking the minis? Is this game trying to imply that too much candy is actually bad for you? What if I told you that the real shocking truth here is that the game is a port of the PC version? Yup, that's right. Turns out this game is actually a port.
Gamepad, keyboard.
Now, good graphics aside, might be subjective and preferable. Some like the PS1 aesthetics, but this one looks a lot better. Its widescreen actually makes things easier to see. The first level barely has any chaos that happen on the consoles. Sometimes. The world is still ruled by M&Ms though, and the cutscenes look a lot more clearer. But then I learned that the boss fights are console exclusives, while the original PC version has math quizzes. I don't even like math.
12 times 2.
And you know what, I think I'll stick with the console versions. You know, I almost considered giving this a 0 or 0.5, but you know what? I'm only giving this a 1 just because of two redeeming qualities. For once, the CG cutscenes are decent, which makes me wish this should have been a cartoon series. The music is actually pretty good for a game about candies. But that's pretty much equivalent to giving me the incorrect M&M's flavor. There's the chocolate, but I don't like what's inside of it. Well, guess that's all for now. This is Cinderunit, logging off until next time. Today we are playing Mr. Bean game. As you can see, this man first appeared in one of the M&M's commercial. So let's see how this sequel has to offer. Oh no!